Hey, what's up? It's 6 a.m. You've just waken up realizing something. You've been studying English for months, but you still don't feel fluent. Sound familiar? Well, here's the crazy part. 99% of English learners completely miss these 5 habits that actually work. I know because I was in the same place, frustrated and stuck until I discovered them. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what they are so you can start learning English faster and easier than ever before. So listen up and pay attention because this is about to be valuable. The first method is very simple. Study English right after you wake up. So when I was working full time, I remember that I had to wake up every single day 5 a.m. And on Saturdays it was even worse. I had to wake up 4 a.m. And obviously I didn't want to do anything except get ready to work and just go. I tried to study English right after work at night, but it never worked. I was tired, out of energy. I had to go to the gym and I was trying to start a business at the time as well. So I had barely any time to study English. And when I did try, it wasn't effective. I would fall asleep or I would promise myself that I would read, write, listen, and speak all the important skills to become fluent in English, but I would end up only reading, for example. It was really hard. So it was only when I started to wake up a little bit earlier that I started to see results. Now keep in mind that I was already waking up really early. So 3 a.m. for example, it was nothing for me. I was already waking up 4 or 5 a.m. every single day. So even if I had 1 hour, I would do everything. Read, write, speak, and listen. In the sessions that I had to practice English, I would practice really well. Now I know this might sound like a crazy idea to some people, but a great idea to others because everybody has a different routine. However, even if you work at night or at home, you can adapt to this. The moment that you wake up is when you are the most fresh. Your dopamine levels are back to normal, so it's easier to learn things and focus. Plus, when you complete such important tasks right after you wake up, you're free for the rest of the day. You don't need to worry about learning English or study English anymore. So you start your day on a high note, giving yourself a sense of satisfaction and accomplishment. And this feeling is one of the best feelings ever. The second habit is journaling. Now I know most people already know journaling is very good for you, not only for learning English, but for life in general. But for me, it was way more than that. I've dealt with anxiety and overthinking my whole life. So journaling became a therapy for me. So let me tell you how I got into it. Back in the day when I was starting to learn English for the first time, my head was all over the place. I'll be sitting there thinking, am I ever gonna get better? Why this is taking so long? What if I never get fluent? It was exhausting. And one day I just grabbed my notebook and started writing. Nothing crazy, whatever was in my head. Stuff like, I'm feeling stuck, I don't know what to do, what I'm doing wrong. Today is really tough, what should I do? And at first it kind of felt pointless, but man, it helped a lot. And writing things down made my mind lighter and it made me unload all this stress. And here's the crazy part. Since I was writing in English, I was practicing without even realizing it because I was not journaling because of English, not because I wanted to improve my writing or something. That was not my intention when I started out. But because I was doing it, at the same time I was unloading all my stress on a piece of paper, but at the same time practicing my English without even realizing it. And at first I was not writing anything crazy, just basic stuff. But over time I started to, get more used to the process and I started to add new things, new phrases, new words that I was learning at the same time. And everything started to click and I was starting to, improve my writing at the same time that I was trying to unload my stress and clear my mind. And journaling made learning English so stress-free because there was no pressure. There was no one to judge me. So if I didn't know a word, I would look it up. If I made a mistake, if my grammar was off, no big deal. I would just fix it next time. And what really surprised me is that journaling made me feel more confident because I was expressing all my thoughts on a piece of paper. And so I believed myself that I could do it with my mouth so I can, speak in English as well. And honestly, it was not only about English, my mind was so much better. And I felt like I was in control of my life every time I did journal. Now, I know some of you might think, I don't know what to write about or I'm not good at writing. But trust me, it doesn't matter. You just have to write whatever's in your head. How you're feeling today, what you're gonna do today, what you're gonna do tomorrow. Even if it's messy, it doesn't matter. It really works. Journaling is one of those habits that you feel like you are improving English, but at the same time, you've got your life together. So give it a try because I promise you, you're not gonna regret it. The third habit is meditation. I wanted to talk about meditation right after journaling because honestly, the two together are extremely beneficial. When I started to learn English, I used to get really anxious, probably more than most people. And honestly, it was not only about English. I was pretty introvert my whole life, so I was anxious all the time about anything. So every time that I would try to speak English or even write something, I would feel this overwhelming pressure. Even if I made a mistake, I would get really frustrated and start doubting myself. So it was really tough. So that's when I started meditating. I would do it for 10 minutes before I would speak or write in English. Nothing crazy, nothing complicated. I would just close my eyes, sit down, and focus on my breathing. And let me tell you, it made a huge difference. Meditation helped me calm me down and clear my head. All those insecurities, frustrations, and doubts, well, they didn't go away completely, but they felt smaller. They were not controlling me anymore. And after meditating, I felt, more relaxed, and I did things without overthinking too much. And the crazy thing is that it's so simple. You don't need crazy techniques. You just need to calm your mind, sit down for a few minutes, close your eyes, and just focus on your breathing. And I know some of you might think that meditation is not your thing or you tried it before, but try it with the goal of improving your English. Keep English in your mind when you're meditating. And especially if you're someone that gets really anxious and stressed when you learn English, this is gonna help you even more. Even a few minutes can help you get control of the situation. And if you combine meditation with journaling, you not only have a combination of a powerful tool that you can use to improve your English, but to make your life better in general. The fourth habit is active listening. Now, I know this might sound like something that everybody already does, right? Well, yeah, I listen to podcasts and I watch movies and I watch YouTube videos all the time. But trust me, just listening English is not the same as active listening. When I was learning English, I was thinking that I was doing enough just playing English in the background while I was working or cleaning something. But let's be real, half of the time, I wasn't even paying attention. It wasn't until I actually started focusing on every single word and trying to actually understand what was being said that I started to see real progress. So this is what I would do. I would pick a podcast or a YouTube video or even a scene from a movie. So I would listen to it once just to get the overall idea. And then I would go back, pause it, and replay it sentence by sentence. If there was a word that I didn't understand, I would write it down and look it up. If there was a pronunciation that I didn't actually get it, I would try to pronounce myself. And I'm not gonna lie, at first this felt super slow and frustrating at times. And after a while, it became kind of addictive and I started noticing words and phrases that I would never pay attention to it before. And even better, I started to recognize those same words in other conversations and videos. And the crazy part is that active listening is not only about understanding words, it actually helps you with speaking too. Because when you listen closely, you pick up the rhythm, tone, and even how native speakers emphasize certain words. It's like your brain gets used to the patterns without even realizing it. So make sure that you pick something that you really enjoy, like a YouTube video, something about business, a movie, a TV show, and make sure that you are focused 100%. You're gonna see how much of a difference it makes when you are 100% focused. Don't try multitasking every single time. Make sure that you have a time every single day that you sit and listen closely, taking notes every single time. The fifth habit is organizing your next day. This one might not seem directly related to English, but trust me, it makes a huge difference. Let me explain. When I was working full time and trying to improve my English, my day was all over the place. So I would think, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna study English. But then I would wake up, go to work, go to the gym, and by the time I got home, I would either forget or be too tired to do anything. I would waste time scrolling on my phone, promise myself that I would do better the next day. It wasn't until I started planning my days the night before that things started to change for me. I would take 5 minutes before I go to bed to write exactly what I would do the next day. For example, I would plan to wake up early, practice speaking for 20 minutes, listen to a podcast during breakfast, and maybe journal really quickly right after work. And you know what? It worked because having a plan took that overwhelming pressure out of my chest. Because every single day I had to guess what I was going to do. So if I planned the day before, I would have everything already decided for me to do it. I didn't waste time thinking, what should I do next? Because I already knew. All I had to do was follow the plan. And here's why this method is so powerful. Because when you organize your day, you are in control. You're not like just hoping to find time for English. And plus, when you check off everything on your list, it feels amazing. and it gives you motivation to keep going. And maybe many of you might think that you have to be a planner, you have to be good at making plans, but trust me, I wasn't good either. I didn't use anything crazy, just my notebook or sometimes even my phone. And the goal is to make it simple. Write down small goals for the next day, and you'll be surprised at how much easier it is to stay consistent. And this is also about showing discipline and showing yourself that you're serious about improving your English. And honestly, once you make this habit, it will help you in every part of your life. Here's a bonus habit for you. Put your phone on grayscale. I know it sounds weird, but hear me out, because this little habit can change everything, especially if you're someone that gets easily distracted. And let's be honest, who doesn't? When I was trying to learn English, my phone was one of my biggest enemies. I would pick it up, look up a word or watch a very short English video. And the next thing I knew, I would be scrolling through Instagram and watch random YouTube videos that had nothing to do with learning. Hours gone, just like that. One day, I read about how turning your phone to grayscale can make it way less addictive. Basically without all the bright colors grabbing your attention. So, for example, if I do this, see? It's kind of boring. It's kind of like, where are the colors? Where are the colors? There's no colors. So it's like boring. You're less tempted to mindless scroll. And let me be honest with you, it changed everything. I wasn't on my phone all the time anymore. The moment my phone turned gray, it felt boring, like suddenly scrolling didn't feel fun anymore. And that was the point. Instead of wasting time on apps, I would actually use my phone for productive things, like listening to English podcasts, reading articles or books, and practicing in general. And you can do it right now. Just go into your phone's setting and turn on the grayscale mode. I think it's usually under the accessibility settings. And it takes like 2 minutes to set up. You don't need to keep it forever. Just during the times that you want to focus, like when you are studying English or trying to get important things done. And it's gonna feel weird at first because you're so used to see the bright colors on your phone that were made to keep you, distracted. But trust me, you will get used to it. And the best part, you will find yourself spending less time on, distractions and more time actually improve your English. This habit is so simple, but it can save hours of wasted time. And when you are learning something as important as English, every second counts. If you want to know everything about how to speak English fluently with confidence, I made a full guide and you can watch it next. I see you soon.